Hey there, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Monday, April 21st, 2025. And I have just completed 100 entire weeks on the carnivore diet. I can't believe it. 100. So I didn't post anything last week because I was in Tennessee. I didn't bring my scale with me. I was traveling with family, and then also we had the Healing Humanity Meetup last Sunday. Well, not yesterday, but the previous Sunday. I've got my Grand Old Opry t-shirt. I went to the Grand Old Opry for my birthday on April the 11th, and we had an awesome time. And so we were there primarily for the meetup, but we went early. So we went Tuesday, and my daughter and son-in-law came with Dave and I, and we went and did some just family vacation time. We drove up to Kentucky to see the Ark Encounter, which was pretty incredible. I mean, just really cool. And there's a zoo there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on there, including like a carousel horses to go on. And my daughter and I went on those, which was fun. It's like when we were in Arizona in March, I got to ride, January, I got to ride a real horse. And that was awesome. And it was just kind of fun to get on a carousel horse too. Anyways, we had a great flight over, a great flight back, and the meetup was amazing. I got to meet a bunch of people that I just only knew online. Some of you who followed me on this channel, some of you that I know through Healing Humanity Life. And if I don't have pictures of you and you took the pictures, please send them to me, because I'm looking through my camera and I'm realizing that some of the people I met, I think we did pictures on their camera, not on mine. So I'm missing some pictures. But yeah, so definitely shoot me some pictures, please, because I want to make sure I have them. But it was a really just nice vacation. We hit perfect weather. Like right before we got there were tornadoes that came through the area. We missed those, and the weather was beautiful. We had one day where it was kind of warm, and it was, but I did okay. I didn't get overheated, which was great. So when I travel, I do tend to gain weight. And I don't know if it's because it's just like the stress of travel. Even though it's fun stress, it's still stress. I stayed carnivore, but I was not able to follow Coach Lisa's menu while I was gone. And so I just didn't have the control that I would normally have if I was traveling by myself. Now, in March, when I went down to Austin, I was traveling alone. And so it was much easier to follow. But when I'm traveling with other people, I'm a little bit at their mercy as far as eating, and we all kind of eat together. So I did stick with carnivore. We had kind of big breakfasts of bacon and eggs in the morning, which was great. And the places that we did eat out, I stuck with carnivore, and I was really careful about asking them, what they used to cook the meat on. One place, I think it was Hard Rock Cafe, they actually cleaned the grill for me. The Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville, they cleaned the grill for me and then used only butter to make me these burgers. Now, I have to say, the burgers were microscopic, and they charged me $17 for two itty bitty little burgers. They were like, they tasted good. And it's funny because I realized after the fact that they didn't ask me how I wanted them cooked, because I told them I'd like a medium rare, and it was pointless to say that because they were so skinny. They were tiny, itty little like smash burgers. They were so skinny that there's no way to make a medium rare. But they were okay. It was okay for a snack. It really wasn't a meal. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But other places we ate at a place called Logan Steakhouse, where we got a ribeye steak, which was cooked great. We ate at a bunch of different places. And so one of the things that we did is where we were staying was right near the Grand Old Opry. Like if you wanted to, you could walk there. We didn't, but you could have. And there was an Opry Mall, and right near, like an Opry Mills is called the mall. Right in that mall parking lot area is Paula Deen's Family Kitchen. Now, my husband has loved Paula Deen. Ever since forever, he has just been the biggest fan of Paula Deen. He just loves her Southern accent, and she's just like this sweet thing. And he's been like, watching her for years. So I got a card that was blank in the middle, and I wrote in it, thank you so much for supporting my carnivore journey all this time. And this card entitles you to one judgment-free meal at Paula Deen's Family Kitchen. And so I gave that to him. And it was so funny because first he was pretty excited, and then when we made reservations and we were getting out of the car, he suddenly started going, I don't know, are you saying you're trying to kill me? Because what you're really doing is giving me permission to eat poison. Like, so what exactly is it? Should I do this or should I not? And I just told him, look, you're metabolically healthy, it's not going to kill you, and you've been wanting to, eat Paula Deen's food, so just go do it. So we went in there, and I literally could eat nothing on the menu. I had looked at the menu ahead of time, and I thought, well, possibly I could have the pot roast or the spare ribs, and no, I could not have either of those, because the spare ribs, they could not make them without the barbecue sauce on them because they were just pre-done, I guess. And they couldn't do the barbecue sauce on the side, which I'm sure was full of sugar. So I wasn't going to do those. So I thought, well, maybe I could do the pot roast. No, because they cook the pot roast in Dr. Pepper. So that wasn't going to happen. So one of the things I did is I did allow myself to have coffee with cream, because very often when we go out to eat, that was what I could have. And so I would have coffee with some cream. I had my monk fruit drops. I still have yet to be able to do coffee without some sort of sweetener in them. And now that I'm back home, I did some coffee yesterday on Easter, and then that's it. I'm done with coffee. But I guess I could have gone without it, but it's my compromise to make me feel as though I actually was participating in the meal, because that was literally the only thing I could have was coffee. So that's what I did. But we went to a Rainforest Cafe that was in the mall, and it was funny because it was one place where they really don't understand the concept of a la carte, that I don't want sides. So they brought my meal with a plate full of French fries. I'm like, no, I don't want the French fries. I didn't want them to bring it because I don't want them to waste it on me, because I'm not going to eat it. And so the guy was really sorry it was not him that filled the order, because he put only the meat, no sides, and the woman who filled my plate put the French fries on there. They can't fathom that you're not going to have sides. You're going to pay for this and you're not going to have sides. They just can't even comprehend it. But anyways, he was so nice. But I did compromise and let myself have some cheese with that. So, but that was probably the best meal, even better than the ribeye. I just got 2 burgers, and on each burger, and they stacked it. So a burger, bacon, cheese, burger, bacon, cheese. And it was so good. It was delicious. And that was probably one of the best things I had when I was there, was that. So that was maybe once or twice I did have some cheese, and I did have cream, and sometimes it was half and half. So yeah, there was some dairy that snuck in, and perhaps that affected me, who knows. But I did well. I did well with the heat. We got to visit with family. I saw my nephew and his wife and 2 of his kids. His oldest son is in, I think he's a junior now, in the university. And we went out to eat with them, where I was able to get a couple of a la carte things, and then we went to his middle son's baseball game. So overall, it was a really, really great trip. And so I could tell that I had gained some weight. I just could. And so Coach Lisa suggested that I just don't even weigh in until today. So I have no idea how much I weighed last week. All I know is how much I weighed in at this morning. So let's see. I think I did covered everything I wanted to cover. And I am getting this out late. That's been my habit lately. I've been staying up really late, and I've been getting up a little bit later in the morning. And so I really need to get my sleep schedule back. That Tennessee time, I was still on it when I got back. So I got to get back onto Pacific time and off of Central time. But anyway, so let's go on to my results for today, and then I will share with you what my plan is for this coming week to get myself back on track. So I weighed in this morning at 217.8, which is up from prior to my trip. So my last weigh-in, I weighed in at 216, and that was before my trip. So that was 2 weeks ago, and I had gained some weight. So my week where I did all the fasting is where I had lost more weight. I don't know if I weighed in. I don't remember if I weighed in at 213.8 one of the days, and whether it was a Monday, I don't recall. But so I'm basically 4 pounds up, because I know I did at least one day weigh in at 213.8. So I'm like 4 pounds up from that. And again, I can tell with how my pants are fitting me. But this is where what I have to work off of right now. So with that said, my BMI is up a little bit. Everything is up a little bit except for my fat-free body weight. I lost 0.2, which was muscle. I lost some muscle. Lots of sitting around when you're traveling. So I did do a lot of walking. I think one of the days I got almost 10,000 steps. I was not pretty close. Several days I had 8,000 steps. So I did a decent amount of walking. But, that didn't really do anything for my muscle mass. Now here in my visceral fat, had been 14. It went up to 15 2 weeks ago. It's still at 15. So I'm hoping that's going to come off. But here was the question. The question was, what's going to happen to my metabolic age? Because I had a birthday. Now I was 55 when I started doing this. And at that point, my metabolic age was 62. Well, I turned 56 last April, and my metabolic age jumped up to 63. So guess what happens? I turned 57 on the 11th, and what does it do? It jumps up to 64. Of course. It's not going to come down. I keep saying this. It is not going to come down until more of these metrics get down into the range where they need to be. So my scale now thinks I'm 64. It's always been 7 years ahead. So I'm just hoping that before I turn 58, that metabolic age is going to stop climbing, that it's going to start going down. I've got a whole year to work on it. Okay, so for this week, I am back working with Coach Lisa. She has got us doing a low-fat, higher protein diet this week. Now, we do have a dry fast on Thursday, and she's fluctuating the calories from day to day. Again, keeping your body guessing. But I struggled like crazy. I was only supposed to get about 1,200 calories today. I struggled to get those. And the low-fat meat is just not that good, to be honest. It was like, ugh. I started out with lean ground beef, like 97% lean ground beef, and I was able to add 1 egg. I used ChatGPT to figure out my macros and figure out what I can eat. And I got some banging going on back there. I don't know if I think it must be Dave opening a box. But anyways, I was able to have 1 egg. So I put the egg in with the beef, and that was okay. I was able to do that for lunch, but man, I was only able to do top round for dinner. It was nauseating to try to get it down, and I gave up. I couldn't eat everything I was supposed to eat. And I was on a live Zoom call with Coach Lisa just before I'm recording this video, and she was laughing because she said, yeah, I'm not surprised that happened, because when we need the fat. And so she has having us go lower fat so that we can really be intuitive and pay attention to our bodies. And my body said, no, I do not like this higher protein, low fat thing. So, and she said, it's okay, I didn't meet my calories. I mean, I have plenty of fat for my body to live off of. So I'm going to continue trying to get this low fat thing going for this week, but I am not going to enjoy it. I can see that already. And I bought some bottom round, I bought a couple different cuts of low fat meat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stomach eating them, really. I don't recommend it if you don't have to do it. Eat high fat. But we're going to see what this does. If it just kind of jolts my body into, losing weight again and just kind of keep mixing things up and keep, changing things up, then it'll be worth it. And we'll see how things go. But this is one of the weeks I'm not excited about. Now, 2 weeks ago was a high fat week. And I was traveling. I wasn't able to get as high of fat as I really, really wanted to. And the day that we had the meetup, all that we had to eat there was brisket. So I had bacon and eggs for breakfast. And at the meetup, we had brisket. And so I have no idea what my macros were that day or pretty much any day that I was traveling. So I just kind of have to just reset, go with where I'm at right now. I'm really hoping that I'm going to start losing weight. And June 7th is the meetup in Washington. And it's also when Adam and Kerry are going to come and film me. And so I'm really curious to see how I can do between now and then. It's, maybe 6 weeks, is it? Roughly? To see where I can be, if I can be closer to 200. It would be awesome if I could break 200, but I don't have really any expectations for doing that in 6 weeks, but we'll see how it goes. And so I wanted to also round things up with, if any of you have been doing the workouts with me and Lindy, so we didn't do them while I was on vacation. It was just too hard to coordinate between her being in Australia, Coach Lisa in Arizona, me in Tennessee with family. I brought my workout clothes, but it was just too hard. We were busy. Like when we travel, we plan things at each day. And so for me to do the workout at the time that would work out for Lindy, it would be 1 PM for me and at Central Time. And we were in the middle of doing things. So that just didn't work out. And now she's got Bella over in Australia and they're doing stuff. So we've connected. She's going to let me know when she can get back. I've connected with Coach Lisa and we're going to work on doing the next chair workout, which hopefully, now Lindy said she was limping with the other workout, so it was a little challenging for her hips. So hopefully we're going to do one where she can have her feet on the vibration plate. So if you have a vibration plate and pull it out, because when we do our next set of workouts, hopefully that's what we're going to do, is when the feet are on the vibration plate. So Coach Lisa gets creative, and so we're going to be able to hopefully get a workout that's going to work really well for Lindy so that she can get in good shape and move forward. All right, I think that is it. Let's see, did I meet it? Oh yeah, well, I met Dr. Barry. So that was the first time I had met Dr. Barry, was at the meetup, and so he gave a speech during the meetup, which was really great. I met, Carnivore Ray. That was really funny. I don't know if any of you guys know Carnivore Ray, but my husband saw the back of his hat, and his first thought was, oh wow, there's some guy here wearing a hat like Carnivore Ray. And it turns out it was actually Carnivore Ray. And my husband's like little fangirling because he really likes him, watches him a lot. So we got some pictures, with him. And I finally met Dante Ferrigno in person. Now I've been on Zoom calls with him, so I know him that way, and he leads a hangout on Sunday afternoons for Healing Humanity Life. So I know him that way. But if I got to meet him in person, and his wife, she's wonderful, and she's super sweet, and did a little interview with me. The audio wasn't that great, but he posted it on his channel. And I think his thing said I lost 160 pounds. Well, that didn't happen. So I said 150. It was 150 pounds of fat. So, but that video is going to be out there, so at some point it will be true. So that'll be great. But anyway, so for this week, I just want to go over, I forgot completely. I'm talking. Let's go over my actual macros, or my metrics. So on the scale, I gained 1.8 pounds. but my fat-free body weight went down by 0.2, which was muscle. So that means that my actual fat gain was 2 pounds. So I'm not thrilled with that. Overall, since the beginning, I've lost 121.8 pounds on the scale. I've gained 26.4 pounds of good tissue. Most of that, almost 25 pounds of that is muscle. The rest is bone. And sorry, my screensaver just went on. That's weird. Anyways, you probably saw me looking confused. I saw nothing but my screensaver. Anyways, so most of that was muscle. 1.6 pounds of that was bone. Overall, since the beginning, my net water gain loss is 0. So I was over 150 pounds of fat loss. Now I'm 148.2. So I'll get there again. Just not there now after traveling. But you know what? Apparently it's the cost of traveling. I'm hoping that I can figure out over time as I do more traveling the best way to travel without gaining weight. I'm going to try. So we've got travel booked for July to Wisconsin, and I think Kerry is going to be having a meetup at the Montello Theater while we're there. So if any of you are in that area, please come. That would be awesome. And Dr. Kiltz is flying in, and Dave and him, I think, are going to be going to the big air show at Oshkosh and spending some time doing that. And that was kind of the reason why we decided to go. And I may or may not be going to the Montana meetup. It's still kind of up in the air. We were going to go, but I told Lindy if she goes, I'm going to do my best to go to the Montana meetup. But there's a possibility our next trip will be the one in July to Wisconsin. So we'll see. Hopefully by then I'll have figured out this travel thing and be able to travel without gaining weight, and hopefully my heat tolerance will be really good then, because it's going to be July in Wisconsin and I think it's probably going to be hotter and more humid than I'm used to. Okay, that is it. That truly is it for today. And for all of you who've commented, and I'm like really behind on catching up on my comments, I'm going to jump in there and get some responses out to you. And thank you for anybody who's new subscribing. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.